Welcome back to the new adventures of the monad. We have taken a comprehensive look at the role of the Manu and realized that we are not just talking about a single individual, but a series of advanced monads who all perform the same basic task, but at different levels of an active scheme. What is unique to all Manus is that they are functioning on the first ray. This is the ray most closely associated with motion, energy, and willpower. This can make the Manus at any level seem like autocratic monarchs. They are concerned with the evolution of the different races of humanity. They represent the ruling department which guides all natural evolution, changes the face of the surface of the globe, builds and destroys continents, raises fresh races, controls the destiny of nations, shapes the fate of civilizations, and balances up, from time to time, the great accounts between races and nations. We call that process war. If we had to describe in one sentence what a Manu does, it would be to rule the outer destinies of humanity. Another great department is that of religion and education. This department functions on the second ray of love-wisdom. It is from this department that all the greatest teachers evolve. They guide all the religions that have ever been sent forth. The official at the head of this department, with a rank 2 grades above that of a master or a Sikha adept, 45, is variously known as the Bodhisattva, the Jagat Guru, the World Teacher, or the Christ. He watches over the spiritual destinies of humanity. He either comes himself or sends one of his pupils to found a new religion when he decides that one is needed. His benediction flows over the whole of the living religions of the time and may be regarded as a kind of steady pressure, so that the power employed will flow as though automatically into every channel wherever and of any sort which is open to its passage. So much for the exclusivity of Christ to Christianity. The World Teacher thus works simultaneously through every religion, utilizing all that is good in the way of devotion and self-sacrifice in each. In addition, he appoints one master or another as the special guide and protector of an individual religion. For each root race, there is a Manu, a 43 self, and a Bodhisattva, also another 43 self. These are respectively the brain and heart of the heavenly man, who emerges as the result of the evolution of each root race. In the heavenly man, as in humanity on earth, there are 7 centers, and each of these centers is represented by an official of the hierarchy. The heavenly men, so formed, are the true inhabitants of the solar system, the mind-born sons of the planetary logi, destined themselves to be the planetary logi of the future. We are living conscious parts of this great body. Each heavenly man, nevertheless, has the fullest flexibility and the highest possible scope of activity. If you can accept this concept, it is yet another nail in the coffin of monotheism. God is a collective, even if there is one monad that provides the envelope for the other monads to dwell within. In addition to the Manu and the Bodhisattva of a root race, there is also another official who stands at the same 43 level, known as the Maha Chohan. He is the monad who directs the minds of humanity so that different forms of culture and civilization are unfolded according to the cyclic plan. The Manu is spoken of as the head, and the Bodhisattva as the heart, and the Maha Chohan as the hand or the 5 fingers. All 3 are active in the world, molding the race into one organic being, the heavenly man, as it has been called. As already stated, the Manu follows the line of the first ray, the Bodhisattva that of the second ray, while the Maha Chohan stands as the head of the remaining 5 rays. The Bodhisattva who presided over the religions of the 5th root race we know today as the Lord Buddha. Before he became a Buddha, he was the sponsor of all the previous religions. Whilst he was the world teacher, he came into the first sub-race of the 5th root race as Vyasa, then founded Hinduism, the religion of the sun. This was not within what we would consider to be our current knowledge of history. This event happened over 50,000 years ago. He then reappeared as Thoth in Egypt. This character was called Hermes by the Greeks. Here he founded the religion of light. He then bounced into Persia as Zoroaster some 31,000 years ago, proclaiming the religion of fire. Lastly, he came as Orpheus to Greece, teaching by music and sound, and founding the Orphic mysteries. With such a glittering resume, there was only one way to go, and that was up. He came forth for the last time in what is now northern India. This incarnation was partially a teaching mission, but was also a requirement for all monads who wish to take the I-8. Hindu philosophy may regard all that is material as being an illusion. But for some reason, if you want to escape this illusion, you have to enter back into it and from there launch yourself to infinity and beyond. So, Siddhartha Gautama reached the illumination of the Buddha, and with Buddhism closed the ancient cycle, leaving to his successor the continuance of the work of the world teacher. Enter stage left the Lord Maitreya. The deep reverence and strong affection felt for the Lord Gautama Buddha all over the East are due to 2 facts. One of these is that he was the first of our humanity to attain the stupendous height of Buddhahood, and so he may truly be described as the first fruits and the leader of our race. All previous Buddhas had belonged to other humanities, aka Venusians, which had matured on different schemes and on earlier chains. The second fact is that for the sake of hastening the progress of humanity, he took upon himself certain additional labors of the most stupendous character, the nature of which we can't comprehend. The attainment of Buddhahood is not simply the gaining of enlightenment, it is also the taking of a great and definite initiation. The monad who has taken that step cannot reincarnate upon earth again. Why? Because part of taking the I-8 involves the dissolution of all 3 triads. Without those envelopes, entry into the cosmic physical kingdom is not possible. Once this degree was taken, the Lord Buddha handed over his work to his successor and moved into the cosmic emotional plane. However, Lord Gautama remains to a certain extent within touch of the world. Once each year, at the festival of Wesak, at the first full moon in May, he still shows himself to the hierarchy of adepts and pours down his blessings upon them, to be passed through them to the world at large. He still may be reached in certain ways by those who know how. The successor of the Lord Buddha, the present Bodhisattva, as stated, is the Lord Maitreya, known in the West as the Christ. He came first as Krishna in the Indian plains, and then to the 5th or Teutonic subrace of our present root race as the Christ in Palestine. His main theme was one of the value of the individual and of self-sacrifice. He is, so far as we know, destined to appear again on earth and give religious teachings suited to the particular needs of the 6th and the 7th subrace of the 5th root race. I suspect this appearance will be in etheric form. His last incarnation was an overshadowing of another monad's physical vehicle, the 46th self, at the time Jeshu. These head honchos don't seem keen on passing out of a birth canal again. The Lord Maitreya will pass on and become the Buddha of the 6th root race, or he may decide to float off to Sirius, which is apparently a favored holiday destination for ex-world teachers. The Manu and the Bodhisattva of the 6th root race will be the present Chohans Moya and Kuthumi respectively. It just so happens that these two Chohans were closely linked to the foundation and the work of the Theosophical Society, though that link has now been broken with all the turmoil that subsequently occurred in that organization. According to Ledbetter, here is a list, so far as it is known, of the Bodhisattvas and Buddhas of our evolution. On globe F of the moon chain, the Buddha was Lord Dipankara, who came from the 4th chain of the Venus scheme and was a member of the General Staff. We should be honored to get such an august being to watch over us. The list of high officials for the Earth chain, 4th round, globe D, the Earth, is as follows. It should be noted that there is a logical progression here, where the ascending Buddha watches over the reigning Bodhisattva. However, esoteric folklore says that the Lord Gautama was supposed to float off to Sirius, but decided to remain and work with Sanat Kumara to continue to guide us, as we are such basket cases, and he feared we would flush ourselves down the toilet if he did not make one last effort. So, this list is only hypothetical in my opinion. For your reference, a Buddha is an official who oversees much more than just humanity. He is the teacher of devas, as well as of humanity. So the fact that a given humanity may be at a very low stage of evolution does not do away with the need for a Buddha overseeing their evolution. He takes charge of the special work of the 2nd ray for the whole world, devoting himself to that part of it which lies in the higher worlds, while he entrusts to his assistant and representative, the Bodhisattva, the office of world teacher for the lower planes. A monad who chooses to become a Buddha must, thousands of years beforehand, have made his vow to a living Buddha, and it is said that from that time forward, the influence of the Buddha overshadows him, and that in due course he attains Buddhahood. The great influence of the spiritual Buddha hovers over the incarnate Buddha. Well, that takes care of the trio who run our hierarchy. In the next presentation, we will look at their boss and his team. Thank you.